just us. You read nationally, everybody says minimum first round. And let me tell you something. If they can't get at least a first round draft choice for him, you keep them.
Yeah.
I just want everybody to prepare themselves. The worst case scenario in this is that you start going down a road where you have a different quarterback every 2 to 3 years. Mm-hmm. And you end up being like how they show those graphics when these teams have been bad forever and then suddenly show up on Sunday Night Football like the Browns, and they show all the people who started for them over the last 15 to 20 years.
Yeah.
You know, look, eventually you have to move on from them.
Right.
The time is right. Fortunately, there is a market for them, and those Texans are wrong. The first round pick is the minimum.
Yes.
And they're not going to get a top 10 pick, I don't think, for them, but I think 20 to 32 or whatever. But it's just, the time is right. This has actually worked out to be good timing.
Absolutely. All right, our telephone number is 248-539-9797. Coming up after T.O.'s update, we'll go in the trenches with John.
WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. A radio.com sports station. Sports headlines all day, every day. From the Sold by Mike Z Sports Desk. This is 97.1. The Ticket.
For the second straight year, the Kansas City Chiefs are headed to the Super Bowl after they beat the Buffalo Bills 38-24 in last night's AFC Championship game. Good outing for Patrick Mahomes, who would throw for 325 yards and 3 touchdowns. That performance coming just 2 days after he was cleared from the NFL's concussion protocols. Meanwhile, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers become the first NFL team to play a Super Bowl in their home stadium after they beat the Green Bay Packers 31-26 in last night's NFC Championship game. This, by the way, will be the first time in 19 years the Buccaneers have appeared in the Super Bowl. The Pistons will look to close out a 3-game homestand on a winning note as they take on the Philadelphia 76ers tonight at Little Caesars Arena. Our coverage starts at 6:35. The Red Wings now 2-4 on the NHL season after they lose to the Blackhawks 6-2 yesterday in Chicago. Afterwards, Tyler Bertuzzi was asked what went wrong for the Wings in that loss.
We just weren't good defensively. We needed to be better on the power play, and I thought we did a good job of that. And I thought our PK wasn't too bad either. Just 5-on-5, and just needed to bear down a little bit more.
Next up for Detroit, they'll face the Dallas Stars tomorrow night in Dallas. In a post on social media earlier this morning, Ron Bellamy confirms he's joining Jim Harbaugh's coaching staff at the University of Michigan. That move comes just days after the 40-year-old Bellamy, the head coach in West Bloomfield, led the Lakers to the Division I title in high school football. From the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Tony Ortiz. For more, stay tuned to 97.1 The Ticket and radio.com.
In the trenches with John Jansen. Powered by BetQL. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetQL app today or visit BetQL.com.
All right, John, get down and dirty.
I want to start with something that you and I have talked about a little bit already today, but that is the Tampa Bay Green Bay game. And there was a quote by Bruce Arians after the game that said, "We didn't come here to not take chances to win the game." That was a completely different mindset than what we saw from Matt LaFleur and the Green Bay Packers. Tampa Bay was going to go out there and they were going to take some chances. They knew they had to take some chances to beat Green Bay because it was the number one scoring offense in the NFL this year. And you mentioned Kansas City and playing against them, you've got to score 30 points. That's exactly what Tampa Bay knew they had to do to beat the Green Bay Packers. They had to get into the 30s. They just got there with 31, and this is an opportunity that is presented to Tampa Bay, not just because they were offensively able to score those points, but defensively, this was a team that went out there and shut down the number one scoring offense in the NFL. And Matt LaFleur, when you come out and you make play calls, you get the ball at first and goal from the 8-yard line. You've got 4 opportunities to get the ball in the end zone. And we heard from Aaron Rodgers that maybe if he knew they were going to kick that field goal, he would have done something different on that 3rd and 8 call that he had where it was an incomplete pass to Devontae Adams. I just don't understand how you don't tell your quarterback or your team, hey, we've got 4 plays to get the ball in the end zone. I don't care what happens. We are going for it. We have to get the ball in the end zone. Then we have to go for 2 because we've got to be able to tie this game up. You don't take the ball out of the MVP's hand, the guy that Bennett had one of the greatest seasons that we've seen a quarterback have in mastery of the offense, the ability to get the ball to Davante Adams, to continue to spread the ball around to whoever was open and make plays. What did we see last week against the Rams? We saw Aaron Rodgers, and I've been talking about this all year long. I don't know that there was anybody that had a better mastery of getting the team in the right play at the right time and making the right decision, getting the ball out of his hands than we saw from Aaron Rodgers. He did it against a guy named Jalen Ramsey and was able to get Davante Adams a touchdown because of the motion, and we talked about it last week. He was able to get him free and get in the end zone. You tell your quarterback, you've got 4 chances to get the ball in the end zone. If we don't, I am going to live and die with the MVP. I'm not going to hand it over to a guy that's won 6 Super Bowls. I'm not going to hand it over to a guy that's now been in 14 championship games, gone to the Super Bowl 10 times. I'm going to put the ball in the hands of my stud quarterback, and I am going to make it happen. That is, it's unforgivable.
Right, I know the worst thing is if they don't get it, Tampa starts at the 8-yard line. And, sometimes the sphincter gets a little tighter in those situations. And by the way, Rodgers shouldn't be let off the hook at all a little bit, okay? That third down play, he could have ran into that end zone, I think, pretty damn easy.
Or he could have at least gotten to the 2 or the 1 yard line.
Yes,
and made that decision easier. But that goes back to the communication from Matt LaFleur that says, hey, do whatever you've got to do to get close because we're going for it on 4th down. That should have been predetermined before they even got there. We talked last week about Andy Reid and the fact that they had practiced that 4th down play. They knew they were going to run that play on 4th down.
Yeah.
You get into situations like this and you know exactly what you're going to do because it's been predetermined. You don't have to worry about emotion, about feel, about anything, about analytics. You know what you're going to do.
Especially because LaFleur is really a good offensive mind. He's a great, scheme. He kind of chopped off his own, what.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. Obviously, I'm happy because I picked Tampa. I want Tom to be able to do this and get another Super Bowl with another team. There's a lot of great individuals down there. I've got friends on the coaching staff. I would love to see Tampa Bay win the Super Bowl, but it infuriates me when the X's and O's in preparation don't come through when it matters most. Tom, were you going to say something?
No, I was just going to say that how Aaron Rodgers had kind of contributed in both situations because Stoney pointed out about not running. They could have ran on 2nd down too, but I thought 3rd down was the obvious. But also, he threw the pick that ultimately led to the Scotty Miller touchdown.
Yes.
And I thought that, again, what are you? What you brought up about the Chiefs. The Chiefs, you know what you're getting. Last night they went for it on 4th down when that game was a little dicey still, even though I thought eventually what was coming, we saw what was coming. But the Rodgers pick before the half, they were tentative when they got the ball. They were letting clock go, and they're kind of like, do we want to try to go down the field or don't we? Instead of just, I'm going to come at you full throttle, we're going to go no huddle, and that pick ended up leading to them getting the midfield. Look at what the Bucs did. The Bucs were the aggressor. And going for it on 4th and 3, changing their mind.
That's all about the preparation going into the game of this is what we're going to do. This is what we feel we need to do to win this ball game. The Bucs knew it, and unfortunately, Green Bay didn't know it. And there's one more thing that I do want to touch on, and I texted you guys this last night, and it is the intensity of the playoffs. And this is where, Stoney, you mentioned it last week, in watching your team, the Philadelphia Eagles, in the playoffs and get a Super Bowl. Detroit fans, at some point, it will happen, and I can't wait. I hope that we're all around to see it happen because it is so much fun. I remember my very first play was playing actually against the Detroit Lions in the playoffs in '99. And I was playing against Robert Porcher. We had played them, I think it was week 2 of that regular season in the Silverdome on turf. Robert Porcher was as fast and it was unbelievably hard to block him. And the one thing that I remember on the very first snap of that playoff game was the speed from preseason to the regular season is different, and then from regular season to the playoffs is unbelievable. The intensity is ridiculous. Robert Porcher slanted across my face, and all I saw was right guard, Trey Johnson, was right there. They were running a twist, and it actually, by being slow, helped me on that play. We were watching film after the game, and Russ Grimm, who's our offensive line coach, says, hey, great patience on this. And everybody's kind of looking around because they knew, you don't hide anything in the offensive line room. And I had to admit, I'm like, Russ, I wasn't ready for that. I'm like, thankfully, he wasn't coming off the edge. Thankfully, he ran in, and I was able to pick up whoever that looping three technique was, because the speed, the intensity, and we saw it in the Bills game last night when they jumped out to that 9-0 lead. They were flying around. I mentioned it last week in Ali Marpet, the offensive guard for Tampa Bay, running downfield and picking guys off of the pile. You saw that in the entirety of this playoffs. The Buffalo Bills, they came out ready to play. They were just too young, just too inexperienced with Josh Allen, with the offensive coordinator, with their coaching staff to get over the hump. They will be there, and they're going to be more prepared because they understand, they get what the intensity of the playoffs is, and they learn those lessons.
I have a trench question leading up to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
The Chiefs are already without their starting right tackle, Mitchell Schwartz. He's pretty much done for the year. Eric Fisher, local kid.
Yeah.
He tears his Achilles. He's out for the game. Look, a lot of people think Kansas City's going to win, but you lose your starting two tackles against, the way Shaq Barrett and JPP are playing and rushing, the quarterback. That's not going to make it easy for Mahomes. I'm not saying it's going to be the difference, but that's going to be tough, isn't it? You're an offensive lineman, you would know.
That's going to be huge because there's a lot. We saw it yesterday when Aaron Rodgers was sacked 5 times and he lost David Bakhtiari, his left tackle. They were coming off the edge the entire time. And you give the Tampa Bay defense, Todd Bowles, 2 weeks to prepare and scheme up, whether it's blitzes, whether it's, simulating blitzes and trying to get guys to make a decision, and all of a sudden they're blocking nobody while somebody is coming off the edge. It is a huge deal. And don't forget about this, because in that game, the Kansas City team, this is where it, I think, becomes a huge factor. And it happened on the other side of things for Kansas City. Kansas City was able to blitz Josh Allen. They got home to him. He was under duress 27 of the 57 throws that he had. I believe that Tampa Bay turns that around and does the same thing, because you've got your bookends are going to be new. They're going to be inexperienced. They are not the same guys that were in the Super Bowl last year. And Todd Bowles is going to be creative. We saw it, in the ability to get after Aaron Rodgers. They're going to do the same thing to Patrick Mahomes. Now the difference maker is, what does Andy Reid, what does Eric Bieniemy do to scheme things up for this Tampa Bay defense?
It's going to be very, very interesting. And I'll have, Andy Reid coming off a bye week, really.
Listening to all that,
Yeah.
bet the over right now while you can get it low.
Starting route to 3200 Glendale Street. In 2.8 miles, turn left onto West 14 Mile Road.
It's going to be a just highlight reel.
Yes.
It's going to be fun. In the trenches with John Jansen, powered by BetQL. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetQL app today or visit BetQL.com. Heather has some news next.
I do. So I think we've all experienced the heartbreak of missing McDonald's breakfast by just a couple of minutes. But one woman in particular went to very extreme lengths to try to get her hands on, an Egg McMuffin. And I'll tell you what happened coming up next.
Extreme ones, I can't wait to hear what that is, because that sucks when you're in line and sometimes they don't even get it to you.
I know.
If you have bad credit, you need a new ride, the great folks at Taylor Chevrolet has the solution. Check out helpgetalone.com. Guaranteed acceptance of all credit apps. Their experts are online, ready to assist you now. If you've ever had a repo, bankruptcy, or just poor credit, you want a new or pre-owned car, truck, head to Taylor Chevrolet. The folks there are amazing. They have great service, great people. They're salespeople. Sean, she took care of me. I've had 3 cars from Taylor Chevrolet. Mark and the guy, they do such a great job. I love it there. Sometimes you walk into a car dealership, and after, even if you get a car, you walk out, you feel like you've been beat up. Not at Taylor Chevrolet. They do it the right way, like humans. Taylor Chevrolet has been helping Metro Detroiters get auto loans for years. Plus, it's super easy now at helpgetalone.com. With foreclosures, bankruptcy, and repos happening more frequently, Taylor Chevrolet knows how to help you get an auto loan. Log on to helpgetalone.com. Get the car and car loan you deserve. Taylor Chevrolet and helpgetalone.com. Buying your next vehicle is just a click away. and tell them Stoney sent you.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ AM 950 Traffic Center, this report brought to you by Duncan. A crash is cleared 75 southbound after Sashaball, but there's now a left lane closure because of a new accident at 94 eastbound just after M10. Planned road work today scheduled to block the left side 275 northbound from Plymouth Road to M1496. Dunkin' Go-Tos are great deals on 2 of your Dunkin' favorites for $2, $3, $4, or $5. Proof that you can never have too much of a good thing. America runs on Dunkin'. No substitutions, exclusions apply. Participation may vary. Must buy 2. I'm Michelle Pena with traffic.
The Detroit Pistons host the Philadelphia 76ers. Pregame tonight at 6:35 on 97.1 The Ticket.
At the Detroit Medical Center, we are committed to serving our community, no matter what. Hello, this is Dr. Roy Elrod, Chief of Staff at the DMC's Detroit Receiving Hospital. For over 8 months, the Detroit Medical Center has been caring for COVID patients while continuing to provide safe and excellent care for all of our patients.
The DMC has over 150 locations ready to safely care for you. A community built on care. Check dmc.org to learn more and for current hours of operation.
Hey, it's Heather Park. Online sports betting is now live in Michigan, and you've got to check out my friends at BetRivers Sportsbook. They've got a special first deposit match offer for you to use as you're making your bets. Visit BetRivers.com, complete the registration, and make a deposit using code 250MATCH. BetRivers will then match your deposit up to $250. How exciting is that? Sign up today at BetRivers.com using code 250MATCH when you make your first deposit. Must be 21, playable in Michigan. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117.
While we've been staying safe at home, scientists have been on a journey. The destination? A COVID-19 vaccine. This journey began decades ago with research into other coronaviruses. Scientists built from there with months of research and development, cooperation with other experts worldwide, and clinical trials on tens of thousands of volunteers of diverse race, age, and health status. They arrived at a safe, effective vaccine, and hundreds of thousands in Michigan have already been
Starting
vaccinated.
route to 3200 Glendale Street.
Is ours. We need to get the vaccine when we
In
can.
1 mile,
Keep
turn
wearing
left
masks
onto West 14 Mile
and
Road.
taking precautions until we reach our destination. Freedom from COVID-19 and getting back to the lives we love. Discover the facts for yourself at michigan.gov/COVID vaccine. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. Mortgage interest rates are at historic lows, and now's the time to have Hall Financial refinance your home loan. You can shave years off your loan, cut down your payment, or consolidate your debt. Hall Financial can even close your loan in half the time of the competition, all while giving you 5-star service. Don't miss out on these historically low rates. Visit davidhallmortgage.com and start saving now.
Hall Financial, NMLS ID 1467435, Equal Housing Lender.
If you're ready for an oil change, trust the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts to recommend the best products for your car. Right now, get 5 quarts of Valvoline full synthetic motor oil and a Wix filter for $33.99.
At the light,
Plus, get
turn
a $10
left onto
gift
West
card after
14
mailing
Mile
rebate
Road,
and
then
double
turn right
auto
onto
rewards
Inkster
points.
Road.
Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
Malcolm Gladwell, podcaster, bestseller, philosophizer.
Kevin Hart, comedian, author, motivator.
Both of us on the new Audible.
Audible's got everything. Podcasts,
Got 'em.
audiobooks,
Got 'em.
original series,
Got them.
all in one place.
Wait a minute. Is an app a place?
Not in a literal sense, but you can literally download
At the stop
Audible
sign,
app to get
turn
started.
right
That
onto
is
Inkster Road.
figuratively mind-blowing.
If I'm not commuting anymore, where do I really want to live?
While you handle life's questions, Merrill Guided Investing helps you manage your portfolio and invest for your next
In
move.
1.4
With the option to
miles,
work with an
turn right
advisor
onto
at no
Northwestern
cost to you.
Highway.
Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/investing goals to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your car, home, motorcycle, commercial auto, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at
that Stafford is Stafford and the Colts missed the playoffs really shows how biased he is towards Stafford hatred. The Colts roster is loaded. The team easily wins 11 games again next year with Stafford. The Colts traded the 13th pick of the draft for DeForest Buckner, a defensive tackle. Jamal Adams brought the Jets 2 firsts as a safety. Stafford only cost the team $20 million the next 2 years. He should get this year's first, next year's first, and another day 2 pick this year. I don't think people are understanding the compensation he will bring.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
I hope so. That would be awesome. I think one and a 2 or a 1 and a 3 would probably the minimum. Dan and Warren, you're a 97 on the ticket.
Yeah, guys, I just want to chime in. The Lions are dysfunctional. I don't think they're going to ever win a Super Bowl in my lifetime. I'm 48. But the reason why I called in, look at last week's press conferences. What I gather from it, you bring in 2 football knowledgeable guys, as a GM and a coach, and they're going to report to a guy who self-admittedly has no football knowledge or experience. So how is that supposed to work?
Because they have complete autonomy, the general manager, over player personnel. Rod Wood's not going to say, don't draft this guy, don't trade this guy. I mean, let's be honest. And what they're doing, I think, and I don't want to take too much of Heather's time, is they're setting up this, staff that you might say there's too many cooks in the kitchen with Dorsey and Ray Agnew, and their coordinators look terrific, and Anthony Lynn and Aaron Glenn. So I think they're doing it the right way. History says it won't work because they're the Lions, but I like what they're setting up, to be quite honest with you. All right, Heather, what's going on?
Yes.
Talk about that McDonald's eventually.
I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna save that for a little bit later.
At
but
the light,
in a season,
turn right onto
unlike
Northwestern
any other,
Highway.
the week of Super Bowl 55 is gonna look very different from years past. And because of COVID protocols this year, Super Bowl participants will not be allowed to arrive in Tampa any earlier than the Friday before the game.
Wow, so how are they going to do Media Circus Day?
Oh, they're going to do it all virtually, Stoney.
Oh, God.
They're still going to have Media Day. They're still going to have news conferences, but everything will be held virtually.
That's going to work well.
Don't you at this point bubble? Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot take any chances now.
I think both teams will create their own virtual bubble. They have to. You can't. I mean, just imagine if either quarterback were to miss this game.
Well,
you're just not going to allow that to happen.
If you're Tampa, there's just, with you being at home, you don't have to travel, and Florida's got a little bit more open, there's not as many restrictions. Just the temptation with the electricity is going to be going on in the city and not getting away from it, man. If I was Arians, I'd create 3 bubbles.
I agree with you.
So Michigan State Police are actually investigating a road rage shooting that took place on I-94 Sunday night. Part of the freeway was actually closed down Sunday night.
In 13
miles,
take exit 8 toward
Police
Linwood
say the
Avenue.
victim was driving eastbound on I-94. This was between Woodward and I-75 when another car passed them, did a brake check, and then started firing shots. And the suspect fired about 2 to 3 shots, which did cause damage to the victim's car on the passenger side door. At this point, the suspect got away, so hopefully they'll find them. It's such a scary situation, for sure. I can't even imagine being the victim with shots being fired towards me. Terrifying. As of Sunday, Michigan Athletics is shut down for 14 days because of confirmed cases of the COVID-19 variant. So the Michigan Athletic Department says that they felt like they had no choice but to shut down for 2 weeks after receiving what they say they thought was a mandate from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. However, a spokesperson from the health department says that they only offered recommendations. Either way, the shutdown went into effect yesterday, and it affects all sports.
Well, it does, but Stoney, I'll ask you this, and Heather, you as well. We saw this at the beginning of the year when the Big Ten shut things down. They changed course. Do you think that this is a mandatory, 14 days, or could we see them change course and say, you know what, we felt like we needed some extra time to do the contact contact tracing to make sure we had it under control and we can open up a few of these sports that maybe weren't affected. Change course.
I hope so. I mean, that's what they should do. That's what Warden Manuel should, with permission from, Schlissel or whoever, but lobby and say, hey, listen, until there's a positive test on a team, you shouldn't shut that team down.
I agree.
Stay in the left 3 lanes.
Okay, so here's the story, about McDonald's. We've all been there. We've all had that kind of heartbreaking moment. You try to hustle to McDonald's before the breakfast hour's egg, but you just miss it by a couple of minutes. So basically, you're stuck with like McNuggets or a burger at
That is the answer why breakfast at McDonald's stopped, so they can put eggs and other breakfast items away for the day off the grill. It's a weak argument. Guys, they
In
did breakfast all
1.1
day
miles,
for like 2
turn
years.
right onto Glendale Street.
Right, and it was great.
Yeah.
It was.
It's because the speed needed for only drive-through only during COVID. Because the lines are so much longer now.
See, this makes sense.
Yes.
But they cut off breakfast before COVID.
That's
I
right.
mean, before they started 2 years ago, there was a limit on breakfast. What was the reason then?
I don't know.
I still don't get the hash brown thing.
No, me neither. I worked at McDonald's for like 5 years. There just isn't enough room to store both lunch and breakfast at the same. Probably serve both lunch and breakfast at the same time. It would make sense to keep serving it a couple minutes after, but no room. I don't know how.
You know what they need to do? You know, you got like these Taco Bell and Pizza Hut combo places, or there's like a Dunkin' Donuts and Baskin Robbins. They need to do like a Dunkin' Donuts and then, well, no, because they have breakfast food, but some sort of combo and then breakfast only McDonald's.
Yeah, I agree. They should have like one in every market. Like if you want breakfast, you can go to this one.
Yes, McBreakfast. That's all they serve is breakfast. David in Oak Park, you're a 97 won the ticket.
Morning, how are you guys?
Good, David. How are you?
I'm terrific. And listening to the feedback from the fans, and especially for myself listening to you.
In half a mile, turn right onto Glendale Street.
Gathering is not only going to be a terrific staff in terms of this quality, in terms of NFL experience, yada, 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 but it's also going to give this team the opportunity to do what it should have been doing maybe a decade or so ago, and not only retool it, but get the proper people to retool. With Matthew Asiato, you know, if they're deciding to go to separate ways, you got you get some pretty good in return for him. Take it and use it while you got it. It's an opportunity that this organization will never have again. And I'm going to sit back and enjoy you guys like I usually do. I just got finished shoveling snow. I always listen you guys outside shovel.
Thank you, David. Appreciate it.
At the light, turn right onto Glendale Street.
Yes, absolutely. Look, the staff that they've constructed, both coaching and administratively, looks really, really good. I'm not going to give them a complete free pass on the Stafford thing because
In a quarter mile, the destination is on your right. 3200 Glendale Street.
You had Tuitt, Herbert, whatever available. That said, I like what they're doing. I like the staff. I like the coordinators. The question is, and here's the one thing that really is unlion-like, and that's the hiring of John Dorsey. Because correct me if I'm wrong, this organization has never been one to embrace people with boisterous personalities, controversial personalities.
No.
And I like that they're taking that chance.
I do as well. And I mentioned this earlier, and it's the chain of command. And yes, I believe Brad Holmes is the GM. He is going to be the one making decisions along with Dan Campbell and input from him on the roster. The question I have is, what are they going with?
The destination is
Brad
on your
Holmes,
right.
who is coming out of
3200
the
Glendale
Rams
Street.
organization. Now you've got Ray Agnew. You've got Dan Campbell, and he talked about how great the Saints were. Now you've got John Dorsey, and we know what the success of the Chiefs and the Browns have been, but because of his personality, or I'm sure there's other reasons that we're not aware of, but he has been fired twice in the last 5 years.
Right.
And so there's going to be a lot of cooks. There's going to be a lot of strong personalities. And oh, by the way, throw in there another strong personality in Chris Spielman. I think that the front office for the Detroit Lions could be a very entertaining place, and I'm hoping, I don't know if they can do it in the coach's first year. Maybe they can, because I think maybe they did it with Gruden, but Hard Knocks would be awesome in Detroit this year.
Yeah, that would be the complete culture shift, because they've been against that for so long, as a lot of teams are. But yeah, when you have a first-year coach that disqualifies you, or you don't have to do it.
Right.
And that would definitely be interesting.
It'd be very entertaining.
248-539-9797 is the telephone number and the ticket text.
You know the thing with Dorsey, John, you probably don't know this.